Why most goals die after you announce them. What if the biggest reason your goals never become reality isn't a lack of talent or hard work? What if it's something almost everyone does without realizing it? In this video you'll discover why the most successful people often stay quiet, build in private, and let their results speak louder than words. And the following 6 big chapters, when you listen to them, you will feel as fresh as if you just woke up. Chapter 1, The Excitement Trap. Every meaningful journey begins with excitement. When inspiration strikes, your mind fills with possibilities. You picture a better future. You imagine success. You can almost see the finish line. That emotional rush is powerful. It convinces you that change has already begun. And naturally, you want to share that feeling with the people around you. There's nothing wrong with wanting support. The problem begins when talking about the goal becomes more satisfying than working toward it. Think about how often people say, "I'm going to start my own company. I'm writing a novel. I'm going to get into the best shape of my life. I'm learning a new skill." These words sound exciting. But words are easy. Real transformation happens in the quiet hours when nobody is watching. Success is built during the mornings when you don't feel motivated. During the evenings when you'd rather quit. During the weekends when everyone else is relaxing. Your future isn't shaped by the promises you make. It's shaped by the actions you repeat. The dangerous part is that your brain doesn't always recognize the difference. To your mind, receiving praise for a future achievement can feel surprisingly similar to earning the achievement itself. That illusion can quietly steal the drive you need to keep moving. And that's where many dreams begin to die. Chapter 2, The Psychology of Seeking Validation. Why do we feel an almost irresistible urge to tell other people about our goals? Why does sharing our dreams feel so good, even before we've taken the first real step? The answer isn't weakness. It's human psychology. Deep inside every person is a desire to be accepted, respected, and understood. Long before modern society, our ancestors depended on belonging to a group. Approval meant safety. Rejection could mean danger. Although the world has changed, our brains still carry many of those ancient instincts. Today, instead of seeking survival, we often seek validation. A few encouraging words. A compliment. A social media like. Or someone saying, "I'm proud of you." These small moments create a powerful emotional reward. They make us feel recognized before we've actually earned the result. And that's where the hidden danger begins. The need to be seen. Every human being wants to matter. We all want to believe our lives have purpose. When we share a dream, we're not always looking for advice. Sometimes we're simply hoping someone will say, "You can do it." There's nothing wrong with encouragement. The problem comes when our motivation depends on it. If your confidence grows only when others believe in you, it can disappear just as quickly when they don't. True confidence is different. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for permission. It keeps working, even when nobody notices. The strongest builders often spend months, or even years, working in silence. Not because they're secretive. But because they understand that progress matters more than attention. Approval can become an addiction. Imagine posting online that you're starting a new business. Within minutes, friends begin commenting. "Congratulations. You're going to succeed. So proud of you." It feels amazing. Your brain releases chemicals that make you feel rewarded. But here's the problem. That reward arrived before the hard work. Without realizing it, your mind has already tasted part of the emotional satisfaction that should have come after achieving the goal. This creates a dangerous shortcut. Instead of chasing progress, you begin chasing approval. And approval is temporary. The excitement fades. The compliments stop. Then you're left alone with the difficult work you never prepared yourself to enjoy. That's why so many people start with passion but never finish. They became addicted to being admired instead of becoming disciplined. Stop performing. Start building. Many people spend more time talking about the life they want than actually creating it. They announce every new goal, every new habit, every new plan. But successful people understand something different. Your future isn't built through announcements. It's built through repetition. One workout. One page. One client. One lesson. One disciplined day after another. Real growth is often invisible. There may be weeks when nobody notices your progress. Months when nothing seems to change. But beneath the surface, you're becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. That's the kind of progress that lasts. Chapter 3: How Other People's Opinions Destroy Your Momentum. Imagine you're pushing a heavy boulder up a hill. Every day, you make a little progress. Then someone walks by and says, "That'll never work." Another laughs. "You've changed." A third person smiles and says, "I'd do it differently." None of them touch the boulder. Yet somehow, it suddenly feels heavier. This is how opinions work. They rarely stop you in a single moment. Instead, they slowly drain your confidence, your focus, and your momentum, until one day, you stop pushing altogether. The greatest obstacle to success isn't always failure. Sometimes, it's simply listening to too many voices. Everyone has an opinion. The moment you share a goal, people begin forming opinions. Some are supportive. Some are skeptical. Some are simply curious. And others may criticize you without fully understanding your journey. The truth is, most people judge your future based on their own past. If they failed at something similar, they'll often assume you'll fail too. If they never had the courage to take a risk, your ambition may seem unrealistic to them. Their words don't describe your potential. They reveal their own experiences. That's why borrowing someone else's limits can quietly become your biggest mistake. Doubt is contagious. Confidence is fragile in the beginning. A single negative comment can stay in your mind for days. You begin asking yourself, what if they're right? What if I fail? What if I'm wasting my time? Slowly, those questions replace action. You spend more time thinking than building. More time defending your dream than living it. Momentum disappears, not because your goal changed, but because your attention did. Successful people understand this. They protect their early confidence like a small flame. Not because they're afraid of criticism, but because they know a growing dream needs time before it's strong enough to face the wind. Stop explaining yourself. One habit separates builders from performers. Builders don't waste energy convincing everyone. They let time do the talking. You don't need to explain why you're waking up early. You don't need to justify why you're learning a new skill. You don't need permission to improve your life. Every minute spent defending your decisions is a minute you could have spent becoming better. Results are the strongest argument you'll ever make. People may question your vision today. But once they see the outcome, many of those same people will say they believed in you all along. That's the irony of success. When you're unknown, people doubt your direction. When you're successful, they assume it was obvious from the beginning. Chapter 4: Build Before You Broadcast. Walk through any city, and you'll see towering buildings that seem impossible to ignore. But what most people never witness is what came before. Months. Sometimes years. Of planning, digging, measuring, and laying foundations beneath the ground. No applause. No headlines. No celebration. The most important work happened where nobody could see it. Success in life works the same way. Everyone notices the finished building. Very few respect the invisible foundation that made it possible. If you want lasting success, learn to build before you broadcast. The invisible phase. Every meaningful achievement begins in what most people call the invisible phase. It's the period where nothing looks impressive. You're learning, practicing, making mistakes, starting over, improving little by little. To the outside world, it may seem like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, everything is changing. Think about an iceberg. Only a small part is visible above the water. The massive foundation remains hidden below. Your skills, your discipline, your habits, your resilience. These are all built where nobody is watching. And that's exactly why they become so strong. Quiet work creates strong results. In today's world, many people feel pressure to document every step. They announce every new project, every workout, every business idea, every personal goal. But announcing progress is not the same as making progress. Real growth often looks boring. Reading another chapter, practicing one more hour, making one more phone call, improving one small skill. None of these moments attract attention. Yet together, they create extraordinary results. The people who master quiet work understand a simple truth. Every small action is a brick. And every brick brings them closer to something remarkable. Let curiosity replace explanation. Imagine disappearing for 6 months. Not because you're hiding. Because you're building. Instead of explaining your plans, you improve your knowledge. Instead of debating your ideas, you create something valuable. Instead of seeking attention, you earn competence. Then one day, people notice the difference. They ask, "What happened? How did you do that? What changed?" Now your story has power. Because it is backed by evidence. People are naturally drawn to results, not promises. The discipline nobody sees. There is a version of success the internet rarely shows. The early mornings. The repeated failures. The lonely practice sessions. The days when motivation disappears. The nights when you question everything. These moments never become viral. But they shape every successful person you've ever admired. Talent may open the first door. Discipline keeps every other door open. The people who succeed aren't always the smartest. Often, they're simply the ones who continue working after everyone else has stopped talking. Chapter 5: Why Results Create More Respect Than Words. There is a simple truth that many people spend years trying to understand. Words may capture attention. But results earn respect. Anyone can say they're going to change. Anyone can promise they'll become successful. Anyone can announce a new beginning. But very few people stay committed long enough to prove it. That's why the world eventually stops listening to promises. It starts watching actions. Because actions never need an explanation. They speak for themselves. The difference between talking and becoming. Imagine two people with the exact same dream. The first person tells everyone about it. They constantly discuss their future. They explain every new idea. Every week, they announce another plan. The second person says very little. Instead, they spend their time learning, practicing, failing, improving. Months pass. The first person has collected conversations. The second person has collected experience. One has stories about what they hope to become. The other is quietly becoming that person. This is the difference between talking about success and becoming successful. Respect cannot be requested. Many people want respect before they've earned it. They want others to believe in them immediately. They hope for recognition before producing results. But genuine respect doesn't come from asking. It comes from consistency. People begin trusting you when your actions repeatedly match your words. If you promise discipline, show discipline. If you promise growth, demonstrate growth. If you promise excellence, practice excellence every day. Eventually, people stop judging what you say. They judge what you consistently do. That's when respect becomes real. Because it is no longer based on opinions. It is based on evidence. Let your work introduce you. One of the most powerful moments in life happens when your work begins speaking before you do. You no longer need long explanations. You don't need to convince anyone that you're improving. Your skills become your introduction. Your character becomes your reputation. Your discipline becomes your identity. Think about the people you admire. Most of them aren't remembered because they talked about greatness. They're remembered because they created something meaningful. Their achievements became their voice. And that voice continues speaking long after the conversation ends. Success changes the conversation. Before success, people ask questions. Can you really do it? Is this a good idea? Why are you wasting your time? After success, the questions change. How did you do it? Can you teach me? What was your secret? Notice what changed. Not your dream. Not your vision. Only your results. This is why patience matters. If you quit too early, people only remember your promises. If you stay committed long enough, they remember your achievements. Time has a remarkable way of revealing who was serious and who was simply excited. Chapter 6: The Habit of Quiet Execution. The most dangerous person in the room is not always the loudest. Sometimes. It is the person who says nothing. The person who doesn't announce every move. The person who doesn't need everyone to understand their vision. They simply work. Day after day. Step by step. Until one day, the results become impossible to ignore. This is the power of quiet execution. Not hiding from the world. Not avoiding ambition. But protecting your energy and directing it toward the only thing that truly matters. Making progress. One small point: stop announcing. Start becoming. Many people spend years describing the person they want to become. They talk about discipline. They talk about success. They talk about changing their life. But talking creates an illusion of movement. It feels like progress because your mind is focused on the idea. But ideas alone don't transform your life. Execution does. The person you want to become is built through your daily actions. Not your announcements. Not your intentions. Not your promises. Every day, you have a choice. You can tell people about your future. Or you can quietly create it. 2 small point: protect your energy. Your energy is limited. Every conversation. Every explanation. Every attempt to convince others takes something from you. Successful people learn to protect their focus. They understand that not everyone needs access to their plans. Not every idea needs an audience. Not every dream needs approval. Sometimes the best way to protect your future is to keep building until the foundation is strong enough to stand on its own. A small fire can be destroyed by strong winds. But a powerful fire creates its own heat. Your goal is to become that fire. 3 small point: power of consistency. Great achievements are rarely created through one dramatic moment. They are created through thousands of ordinary moments. One decision. One habit. One improvement. Repeated again and again. People often search for motivation. But successful people build systems. They don't depend on feeling inspired every day. They depend on commitment. Because motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. The person who continues during difficult days will eventually pass the person who only works when everything feels easy. For small point, become someone you can trust. Before you want others to believe in you, you must believe in yourself. And self-belief is not created by positive words alone. It is created by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you will work, and you work. When you say you will learn, and you learn. When you say you will improve, and you improve. You build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. And confidence becomes unstoppable. Final message. Don't be afraid of being unknown. Don't be afraid of working quietly. Don't be afraid if nobody understands your vision today. The greatest achievements in history were created by people who continued working when nobody was watching. Your dream does not need everyone's approval. Your mission does not need everyone's attention. Your future does not need constant announcements. It needs your dedication. So stop explaining every plan. Stop seeking every opinion. Stop waiting for everyone to believe in you. Build. Improve. Execute. And one day, your results will introduce you. Because the strongest message you can ever send is the life you create. If this message helped you see success differently, remember. Your goals are precious. Protect them. Work on them. And let the results speak. Thank you for watching. This is Life Stories Studio, where every story teaches a lesson about life, growth, and becoming better.